One more question, and then we have to run to the next room.
I just wanted to pose something about how to judge when training is appropriate. And I think that a lot of organizations, you have like one person doing this work and it's insufficient. So the question is like, do you take all these pieces of the puzzle onto your own plate, or how can you pass that off? And I think one of the big challenges is, when is it appropriate to just do it yourself, and when is it appropriate to train and bring others into that mix?
You have to gauge the likelihood that someone will be able to do it well based on their likelihood to be someone who wants to learn new skills. New employees tend to want to learn new skills. Someone who's paranoid about losing their job tends to want new skills. I find that when you're new to an organization, it's a good excuse for you to say, I'm new, let me do a training. And they're like, ooh, new sparkly person, time for you to go do a training. Also, if you have regular staff enrichment things, which I know not a lot of organizations have, but perhaps you and a couple other people who are the kind of folks who want there to be more staff enrichment training could say, okay, let's do staff enrichment training, I'm going to do this, you can teach on that, blah, blah. Perhaps at a retreat if you got, or like whatever that kind of thing would be. I generally try to have as many people know how to do things as possible because it just helps at the end of the day. And someone who sucks at it, generally speaking, will just end up wanting to be involved with it because it's a hassle and it's work,
Yeah, I think to some extent it's helpful if you can farm things out, like repetitive tasks like data management, or even updating some of the social media sites that can be passed out. And so long as you have some set guidelines about what goes out and what doesn't, how do you talk about it, how it doesn't, and then just being available for questions, I think is actually the most useful thing for when you have other people you can go to. I think in terms of, I think one of the most useful things of training is not necessarily for people who you want to farm work out to, but actually just to have people understand what you do. And so take an hour on a Friday at lunch or something and be like, I just want to give you guys a quick overview of the tools that I use to do my job, some of the issues that come up. And I found that can be immensely helpful for people being like, oh, you just don't work in a magical little box.
Yes.
And then things happen on the internet and you get $1 million every month. It can be really useful for people understanding just the tool set you use. Just think about it in terms of how communications do work. They use a word processor to type out press releases. They use Google News Alerts to find stories relevant to issues. It's just show people your toolbox and how you use it.
And the one thing that I would add to that, and again, it's different for every organization, but from where I sit, the most training that I do is never formalized. But when one of our staff is excited, whether it be an organizer or maybe our policy director or somebody who's excited about something that they're doing, I offer them the opportunity to share that. And because it could come from them, it's going to have a different perspective that I can offer, and that's the one shortfall actually that I can't possibly have enough hours in the day to do, is to actually produce enough content to put out there to engage as many people as we have to. And that's the easiest thing, because all I have to say is be human, be a real person, write down what you really feel about this, and be human. And let me tell you, our policy director, he's a lawyer, he's not human. He's a wonky kind of guy. He's written some decent stuff.
Wow.
He writes stories about his other jobs and his childhood and how that relates to the estate tax. And that works because he feels like he has this opportunity to get his name on the homepage. So. Yeah.